What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kevin with Optimized Essentials, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how semen retention leads to more gains. All right. Now, if you are someone who is already working out, or maybe you're not working out, or maybe you just don't like the way you look, well, I got some good news for you, okay? Or maybe if you don't like the way you feel, I want to propose to you a very difficult challenge, and it is to stop playing with your pee-pee, okay? As pleasurable as it is, as many beautiful girls as you can find online, I understand, how pleasurable fapping off and busting your nut is, but my proposal is to stop playing with your wiener so that you can increase your masculine drive, vitality, male hormones, so that you can feel more like a man, okay? Now, the purpose of this video is to tell you that NoFap and semen retention increases your testosterone, and I'm going to provide you a few resources you can look into, a few research articles that you can look into, or I'll read some of it, or show you some of the titles, read through some of the abstracts, some of the results, so that you can put it together yourself. Because I get a lot of comments, and honestly, at first it was really frustrating, right? I was like, dude, these fucking nerds always asking like, there's no research to back it up. What's the science? Show me this. It's like, bro, have you done semen retention before? What's the longest you've gone without fapping off, right? Most of these guys who are over here talking about what's the research, there's no research, have not tried it, right? What is the danger of trying NoFap and semen retention, right? Maybe you get prostate cancer. Who knows? But try it for a month. Find out for yourself. But in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw upon one, my experience, but also multiple different research studies that talk about testosterone, masturbation, the effects testosterone has on your body. And then I'm going to give you some ideas to wrestle with so that you can correlate, right, in your mind how semen retention, NoFap, increases testosterone, right? It's not hard to put it together. It's not hard to use deductive reasoning, to use your critical thinking skills to piece together that if you retain and not masturbate and not ejaculate for a prolonged period of time, your body will increase its male hormone production, okay? So without further ado, the intro was a little bit long, but here's the premise, okay? The premise of this video is that semen retention increases your male hormones, which also increases your drive, your ambition, your masculine prowess, your physical prowess, your to get after it in life, so that when you go to the gym and you translate this behavior to lifting harder, heavier, with more intensity, you gain more muscle mass. You get better results at the gym, okay? Imagine a guy, let's say a fat dude, right, who's like eating potato chips all day, drinking soda, busting a nut every day. Imagine this fat loser, right, who has low levels of hormones, maybe high levels of estrogen, low levels of testosterone, versus the Chad, right? The Giga Chad, or the Adonis, as whatever, Hamza, right? Adonis. Imagine these two guys training. Who has more male vigor and vitality? Well, obviously, the guy who's already been training, who already has high profile of hormones. But I'm just trying to paint you that picture that the state, the physiology that the fat loser is in, he just can't get the same level of result that Adonis or Giga Chad is already getting, because the hormones, right, the way his body and physiology is operating in the gym room versus the fat loser is completely different. But NoFap was that key to get you back in the door, because you're no longer busting a nut and wasting your energy on this stuff, okay? So the premise, again, is that semen retention increases male hormones, more specifically testosterone, right? This is only a small piece of the puzzle. There's so much more benefits to semen retention: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, so many benefits. But let's just play with testosterone for now. Semen retention increases male hormones in the body, and it translates to more aggressive behavior, more dominant behavior, more drive, determination, motivation, ambition to go after your goals. Which means if you apply that to working out, you get better results, right? Arguably, semen retention makes you better at everything that you do. That's why boxers do it. It makes them more aggressive, makes them sharper, makes them more willing to fight until the end and not give up. There's more spirit flowing through them. So now that we have the premise, let me read you some of these fucking articles for you nerds, okay? So the first one I'm going to share with you is to paint the picture that abstinence, right? Abstaining from sex, abstaining from masturbation, abstaining for jacking off, ejaculating, increases your testosterone, okay? This one I've shared already in the science, or like how NoFap or semen retention increases your testosterone. I've shared most of these articles already, but I'm going to quickly go over them again so that you idiots are more likely to do it, okay? So endocrine response to masturbation-induced orgasm in healthy men following a 3-week sexual abstinence, okay? So without going into all of it, basically what this research or what this article said, you're welcome to read it by yourself, is that after a 3-week period of sexual abstinence, when they measured their testosterone, right here, in contrast, this is the last sentence, last two sentences. In contrast, although plasma testosterone was unaltered by orgasm, higher testosterone concentrations were observed following the period of abstinence. Okay? Meaning, they're saying that testosterone, right? Plasma testosterone was unaltered by orgasm, but for the people who were engaged in 3 weeks of abstinence, they had a higher concentration of testosterone. Now, it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together, okay? Creating reproductive hormones or reproductive cells, sperm cells, semen, is your body's most expensive process, okay? In the Chinese tradition, traditional Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, all of them know that semen is a very valuable, precious resource to the body. When you're constantly wasting and blowing your load, your body has to extract that energy from somewhere, okay? Where do you think it takes the energy from? You think it just takes the energy out of the ether, out of the thin air? No. The energy of your body, the foundation, is from the food you put into your body, okay? Energy comes from food. I've shared the 7 dhatus already. Food gets converted into plasma. Plasma is like the precursor to blood. Blood gets converted into muscle, fat, bone marrow, and then finally sperm cells. So it goes through all these layers before your body decides to produce sperm cells. So when you're constantly blowing your load, what you're doing is you're extracting essence from all layers of your body, okay? And when you keep doing it and you're malnourished and you're eating shitty food and you don't have the energy to repair, to reproduce, that's why there's so much like male infertility or erectile dysfunction, which we'll go over, because there's no vigor and vitality in the body. There's no life force energy in the body. There's no like energy for the body to make more semen from. You're forcing it, right? That's why there's low levels of sperm count, right? That's why people can't get pregnant, because there's not enough juju to get to the seed or to get to the fucking egg, right? But anyways, this is the first article that will paint that in the people who've done 3 weeks of sexual abstinence, they have higher levels of testosterone, okay? So that's the first research I wanted to share with you guys. The second one, which kind of plays a part in it, is testosterone and aggressiveness, okay? Now, if you've studied testosterone, I'm going to read you something really fast, okay? First, I'm going to read this. Testosterone is a sex hormone that plays important roles in the body. In men, it's thought to regulate sex drive, libido, bone mass, fat distribution, muscle and strength, and the production of red blood cells and sperm. Now, there's a lot in this little sentence right here, okay? It's thought to regulate sex drive, okay? Now, you can correlate this to why so many guys nowadays have erectile dysfunction, or they can't get it up when they're sleeping with someone, or they just don't have enough oomph, juju to go after life, right? There's no motivation. There's no masculine drive to strive after their goals. It's because they don't have those same levels of male vigor and vitality that Adonis has. Oh man, it's funny to say that. I've watched a few of Hamza's videos. I'm not like a super fan, but you know, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. Adonis. But anyways, okay, so it's thought to regulate sex drive, bone mass, fat distribution, muscle mass, and strength, okay? And then the production of red blood cells and sperm. Now, if you look up testosterone increases red blood cells, you'll find some interesting research, right? A lot of testosterone replacement therapy has been purported to increase blood clots. And I think there's some validity to this, right? When you have higher levels of male hormones in your body, you also simultaneously have more blood cells, right? There's more energy. One second, I need to grab some water. Drank too much coffee, a little dehydrated there. Anyways, okay, so I'm going a little off a tangent from this. But there's more to testosterone, okay? There's testosterone and aggressiveness, right? Testosterone and aggressiveness. So you can read this on your own, but essentially what happens is that the effect testosterone has on the masculine body or the male body is that it prompts them to compete, right? It prompts them to go head to head, toe to toe with other men. The role of testosterone is for men to dominate, so to say, or at least to outcompete other men, right? There's an effect on that testosterone has, right? Especially on aggression, male aggression, right? I'll read this right here. It says, there is evidence that testosterone levels are higher in individuals with aggressive behavior, such as prisoners who have committed violent crimes. Several field studies have also shown that testosterone levels increase during the aggressive phases of sports games, right? In more sensitive laboratory paradigms, it has been observed that participants' testosterone rises in the winners of competitions, dominance trials, or confrontations with factitious opponents, right? That's why so many men like to play video games. That's why so many men like to compete in sports, in fighting, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, etc. Because testosterone is like the pinnacle of the male hormones. Men love to feel like men. Women like to feel like women, right? It's only in this degenerate and upside down society where there's men wanting to act like women and women wanting to act like men. It's in our biology, it's in our nature to want to become, right, the most masculine version of ourselves and to become the most dominant, right, aggressive form of masculinity that we can have, ideally within control so we don't commit violent crimes. But essentially what we understand so far is, or what I'm trying to paint the picture is, right, is that you can assess your own level of testosterone by your behavior. And for me, right, what I notice is that when my male hormones are high or the highest, I notice that I am more aggressive, right? My behavior is more masculine, right? I feel more like destroying my opponents, right? Whenever I see guys online who try to come at me with like, oh, it doesn't work, or what's the research and stuff like that, my goal is to destroy them, right? Because it's like you want to come at me with something that you have no experience with, and I'm trying to tell you, right, that NoFap and Semen Retention works. So when I see these comments, right, I like to go after these guys. Typically, I don't like to argue with people, but I like to comment stuff that will destroy them, okay? And that's the role testosterone has in the body, right? And I like to compete, right? So I can tell when I'm more aggressive, like especially after heavy lifting, heavy workout the next day after I slept well, got good sleep, rested myself, that I have higher levels of male hormones, okay? So I can tell, right? I already know what high testosterone feels in my body. So I can correlate, when I'm on NoFap and Semen Retention, it increases my male vigor and vitality, increases my masculinity, increases my aggression. So I know, right, even though there's no science or research, I know that when I'm on NoFap and Semen Retention, it increases my aggression, my male vigor and vitality, and my masculinity. And what do we know testosterone does? Well, it increases aggressive behavior in men. So if you put 2 and 2 together, NoFap, Semen Retention increases aggressive behavior, masculine virtue, masculine characteristics, masculine attitudes, and that leads to better results in the gym. Okay, so anyways, let me read you another one, okay? Another research. This one's interesting. The presence of a woman increases testosterone in aggressive, dominant men, okay? The abstract. In line with the challenge hypothesis, this study investigated the effects of the presence of a woman on the testosterone T levels of young men. An informal contact with a woman of approximately 5 minutes resulted in an increase in salivary T among men, testosterone. These effects occurred particularly in men with aggressive dominant personality. So they already had high levels of T to begin with, which may or may not be true if you're a fat loser who doesn't have high levels of testosterone. In addition, higher salivary T levels were related to a more aggressively dominant personality, being sexual inactive for a month or more. Higher salivary T levels were related to a more aggressively dominant personality, being sexually inactive for a month or more, and not being involved in a committed romantic relationship. The most important findings of this study are that short presence of a woman induces specific hormonal reactions in men, and these effects are stronger for aggressively dominant men. Meaning the guys with high levels of testosterone, aggressively dominant, right, have a higher reaction when being placed in the presence of women, right? A beautiful woman. And this is the same example. I didn't even think about this, but the example I painted to you in the beginning of the video. You have the fat loser with high estrogen, low testosterone. You place him next to Adonis, Giga Chad, who has muscles, high levels of hormones. Who gets better results? It's that saying of like, with those who have less, or like with those who have more will be given, and for those who have less, even that would be taken from them, right? It's something like that. There was like a saying I might put it up. But essentially what they're saying is men who are already aggressively dominant, they have a stronger hormonal reaction when you place a beautiful girl. Why? Because there is more male hormones already existing in their body. And I've broken this down in, semen retention increases testosterone. If you have a high level of total testosterone, meaning my total testosterone is at 763 nanograms per deciliter. And I consider that pretty high. Your free testosterone is what gets extracted, in my opinion, I haven't, put this together scientifically, from the total amount of testosterone that you have, right? And I'm arguing, you can do your own research on this, is that NoFap and Semen Retention increases your total testosterone, increases the amount of testosterone that's inside of your body so that more free-flowing testosterone can be liberated and utilized, okay? My theory and hypothesis is that NoFap and Semen Retention increases your total testosterone. Why? Because if you stop ejaculating and expending your body's most precious resource, does it not make sense that you have higher levels of male hormones within your body because your body doesn't have to spend energy making sperm cells, right? And here's another theory or hypothesis. There's two, actually. There's two streams of thought that are coming to me at the same time. First, let me wrap up in this one, okay? The presence of a woman increases testosterone in aggressive men, right? And I can back this up when I'm at the gym, right? I have another reference point. When I'm at the gym and there's a beautiful girl in my vicinity, I can feel the arousal of life force energy within my body. I can feel the increase. I can feel my body pumping out, right, testosterone into my bloodstream. All right, I can feel it. I can feel it in my body because I'm meditating, right? I'm literally closing my eyes and meditating. So I can feel when testosterone is being pumped out in my body. And then there was another article that I'm not going to read here in the Semen Retention Increases Testosterone video that talked about in the presence of competition. So when there's another man, another alpha male in the room, I can also feel, right? Or the research said that it increases aggressive behavior in dominant men, right? Testosterone, like when you put a presence of a female and etc., right? So basically when there's another man and there's a female and there's another man, what it does is it creates a competition between the other man and it triggers their behavior, right? So I know how in presence of competition, male competition, testosterone also rises, which I believe we read over here. So when in competition, testosterone also rises. So I know how testosterone feels when there's a beautiful girl in the room. I know how testosterone feels when there's another man in the room who's trying to compete. So I have all these reference points of male hormones in my body. So this whole loop that I'm trying to say to you is that when I'm on NoFap and Semen Retention, I feel higher levels of testosterone. I feel higher levels of male hormones. Why? Because I'm more aggressive and more dominant in my behavior. Okay. Although I don't necessarily try to dominate other people, I can feel these tendencies coming out of me. I keep it under control as best as I can. Like, if you guys can tell, like I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm pretty spiritual. I'm pretty monk, right? I try to keep my male aggression under control. Okay. So anyways, the other stream of thought is that, remember what I read to you earlier about testosterone increasing red blood cells, right? Testosterone is a sex hormone that plays an important role in the body. In men, it's thought to regulate sex drive, libido, right? I have higher levels of sex drive, but I don't really get super horny all the time because I transmute my sexual urges. Bone mass, fat distribution, muscle mass, and strength, and the production of red blood cells, okay? Here's the other stream that I wanted to close off on. You remember the 7.2s that we talked about, like the layers of blood when food gets produced, right? So let's say we're on semen retention and you have a bunch of energy in your body. What I am feeling is that I have an abundance of energy in my cells, right? I have abundance, like my blood, right, is literally maxed out at its potential. My muscles are being maxed out at its potential, right? According to my own DNA genetic potential, right? I already have the maximum amount of blood for the most part that my body can produce, right? Meaning if I measure my red blood cell count to some other guy's red blood cell count, I can assure you I have more red blood cells than him, right? I have more vigor and vitality in my body, right? But what I'm trying to say here is this. Testosterone increases your red blood cells, right? And also, NoFap and Semen Retention increases your testosterone, increases your red blood cells. And the way I know this is because when I eat, right, liver, when I eat raw liver, as Liver King would say it, I hope you guys are following along because I've been kind of all over the place. I feel like the coffee kind of got me jumping around. So if you're still with me, breathe. What I'm trying to say is when I eat raw liver and I feel, right, even more vigor and vitality in my body. I didn't even know there was another level, right? I feel higher levels of cholesterol, higher levels of blood cells, because literally you're eating like iron, blood. There's a bunch of blood in liver. And I shit you not, consistently, the next day or 2 days, I get bloody noses, right? It's fucking crazy. Like I literally start getting bloody noses, or it's easier for me to get a bloody nose. So what is that telling me? That's telling me my body is topped off on blood already. Like I can't literally produce any more blood. Like if anything, I need to let out some blood. Okay. The same way people have wet dreams after a few months of retaining is the same way. Like I'm so filled up with energy already that my body is going to find a way to like let out blood. And I've even shat out blood before. Like I fucking shit you not, right? Literally I wipe, I look at the toilet and I'm like, what the fuck? There's blood there. And I've consistently correlated to anytime I eat like organ meats, right? Like heart, like liver again. And I'm already like filled up with nutrients. I literally shit you not. I'm shitting out blood or I'm having a bloody nose. And that's my body's way of letting out excess nutrients. Okay. Cause like I can't fill up anymore. It's like I'm already full, right? I already have a bunch of blood surging through my veins. Okay. So NoFap and Semen Retention not only increases your testosterone, but I would argue it increases your whole neurotransmitter profile. Okay, it increases your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your killer T cells, whatever the fuck that your body produces on a day-to-day basis, your body now has more of because it no longer has to create semen. Do you understand this basic point, okay? Now, this whole long-ass video, the whole thing I'm trying to share with you is that NoFap and Semen Retention increases male hormones in your body, most notably testosterone. Testosterone influences your behavior with more aggression, more drive, more vigor and vitality, more motivation, more ambition to go after what you want. And when you point this at working out, when you point this at fighting, MMA, when you point this at your career, anything that you do, you will get better results. So NoFap and semen retention, therefore, increases your gains, okay? This was a long-ass video. I was kind of all over the place. I hope you guys, kind of caught on or was able to stay on and follow all the research that I proposed to you. But yeah, it's been like a few months, 4 months now. I think I'm a few days away from 4 months. And I feel like I'm in the best shape I am this year. I sacrificed a lot this year. A lot of drinking, cut that out from my life. Playing video games, cut that out from my life. And watching porn, ejaculating. And I put all the energy that I would spend there into my goals, into my fitness. And that's why I'm getting the results that I am right now. So if you aren't already doing it already, get on NoFap and semen retention. Have a good one. Peace.